I think you come to the Bellevue to win it. Wabash always fight.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. And coach, coming off of a loss last week, a 47-21 defeat, but to an NCAA Division I FCS school, loss going over to Butler. You and I talked after the game on Sunday when you had a chance to go through film and so forth. And one of the things you reiterated is that it was a good learning opportunity for this football team. What did you learn about your team, and what will you be able to take through the rest of the season from what you learned playing Butler?
I think we have the potential to be a really good football team. We'll find out over the next 8 weeks. But certainly there were moments in that contest where we performed on both sides of the ball at a pretty high level. We need to continue to improve every week, but this team could be pretty good.
A little bit of a slow start, both offensively and defensively, but the turning point in the second quarter seemed to be the fake punt where Blake White hit TJ Alexander with the 11-yard pass play, got a first down, you march the ball down the field 6 plays later, get a touchdown pass on another little gimmick play with Jacob Riddle, who now has a touchdown pass and a 2-point conversion pass. But that really seemed to really spark things. The defense had a good series the next trip. Your offense took over and marched the ball down the field with a very methodical drive, a very Wabash-style drive. You know, the running game really established itself. And then you got a touchdown from Liam Thompson to Derek Allen Jr. Later in the game, in the third quarter, you got another touchdown with another good drive. Liam hit Jacob Riddle for the final touchdown of the game for Wabash. So you really were able to execute some things. Did you feel that fake punt really kind of lifted the spirits of the team and got things going?
It did, and while I'm thinking of it, I need to thank everybody that attended that football game. Boy, we had tremendous support in that stadium. We did make it a Wabash home game. It was fantastic to see. And then to your point, you know, we started out slow on offense, disappointing. Our opening drive was really good. And we could not, we dropped the ball that we probably would have come close to scoring on. We missed a field goal. Hopefully those things will go away now that we've done them. But that would have been really special in a game like that. I think it really should have been 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. But we move on.
You mentioned that opening drive. Is that a little bit of the case of you learn as much from what you didn't execute well to know that you could have marched that opening drive down, perhaps gotten a score, made it a 7-7 ball game? Is that something that you can then springboard to going into these conference games beginning with Oberlin this week?
Absolutely, and even at practice, you know, every ball we throw is precious. We don't want that thing on the ground. Liam doesn't miss many throws. And to be an excellent football team, we need to be perfect in that category.
You didn't have massive numbers in the run game, but you got a really good effort in the game from Cade Campbell. He proved very difficult for Butler to be able to stop. Does he become a weapon for this offense as you begin conference season, along with the good work that Donovan Snyder's already done? Do they make a really dynamic 1-2 attack in that running game?
They do, and Cade has proven himself. Obviously, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but the fact is he's a really good football player. And when we wanted to run the ball against Butler, we did. And Cade did a super job. So you're going to see a lot of Cade and Donovan the next few weeks.
The offensive line faced a really good, fairly big and talented defensive line and really seemed to hold its own. They did end up getting 3 sacks, but they also put some extra defensive pressure on in the second half after you had cut it to a 7-point game before they got the field goal at the end of the half. What was your assessment of the play of the offensive line on Saturday?
Really good. There were a few mistakes that were made. But we did not get knocked backwards whatsoever in the run game. We held our own, and I look forward to being able to really, probably having the best run game we've had here since 2015.
Defensively, you faced the Offensive Player of the Year from the Pioneer Football League and Brett Bushka, really talented receiving core and an outstanding, really they had a good core of running backs with their starting running back who was coming off of a 3-touchdown game the week before, another good running back that we saw in Joe Sushi in the game. And while the defense had some early struggles just like the offense did, there were some really key series where they got some big stops that helped that offense get back into the game, cut it to a 7-point ball game, and got a couple of key stops in the second half as well. What was your evaluation of the defense on Saturday?
We continue from last year to make steady improvement, playing the right guys in the right spots, and we just look forward to getting better every week in that category.
One guy who had a really big game, and leading into the game, you talked about how important it was going to be for him to get a lot of touches, and that was Derek Allen Jr. He ends up making a career best 10 receptions, 99 yards, had the 1 touchdown catch. How important was it for him, not only there to give you an opportunity to win, but playing in front of so many hometown fans? I know I talked to him early in the week. He got a chance to match up against one of his high school buddies that he practiced with at Warren Central all the time. So it was a good chance for him to kind of showcase his abilities and have an opportunity to do that. How key was that for him?
Well, I think with Derek, he's a guy out on that field. He looks like he really belongs out there, and he's as good as any other player on the field. Then it's our job to figure out how to get him the ball 10 times every game. That's critical to our success this year.
I said this late in the broadcast. There'll be a little bit of a shift this week. No disrespect to the Oberlin program, but they aren't quite on the same talent level as Butler. But this is an important week for your football team. This is the beginning of the conference schedule. A good opportunity to get things off on the right foot. How does this team approach going into the conference schedule, having come off a game against an opponent like Butler?
So far, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had tremendous practices, and our focus has been really good. It's homecoming. Our kids want to play well. It's our first home game. This fits in great at the perfect time, and we just need to come out Saturday and play a really good football game.
They have a young sophomore quarterback who's had some ups and downs. What do you expect to see from them offensively?
So the quarterback is an athletic kid that can really scoot around. We're going to have to contain him. Then for our fans, they do something really unique where their offensive line takes these giant splits. This is something Mike Leach introduced into football in 2015, 2016. So we're going to be challenged. We have to contain that quarterback and not let him get scooting around.
Defensively, what do you expect to see against your offense from Oberlin?
So they're tricky. Not many teams play the odd front. They have a few different ways to get to it. I think they take advantage of smart kids like we do. So they're pretty multiple defensively, and we just need to kind of contain some of the looks they get into, and they do some crazy stuff on third down also.
It's homecoming week. We had chapel sing just a little bit ago, all the activities that go with it. I had a chance at practice this week talking to a couple of the freshmen who were really excited about having a big crowd. You also haven't had a home football game yet this year. We're late in September. How important is it for all those things to come together? You're going to have all the excitement of homecoming. You finally get a home game. You'll have it in front of a huge crowd that'll be back for the homecoming events, plus just the Wabash football game itself. How important is it for this team to finally be playing here at Little Giant Stadium this Saturday?
Well, I hope we are as physical as Chapel Sing was today. But we need to play our game. Our seniors, we felt like Butler was a home game for us, but they get 4 opportunities to play in the stadium this year. I think we're going to come out really excited and play great football.
What is the one most important thing this football team needs to do Saturday against Oberlin?
Contain the quarterback from Oberlin College.
That game begins at 2 o'clock this Saturday afternoon. Tickets are available at wabashtickets.com. You can go to the sports website at sports.wabash.edu/football. Look at the schedule. There are links there for the broadcast. Jim Amadon and Steve Hoffman will have all the action for you on the Wabash College Video Network. Live stats, game notes, and other material available on the schedule page as well. And we will begin things, for those of you watching the stream online, with this Don Morel show just shortly before Jim and Steve take you to the opening kick for Wabash against Oberlin, excuse me. Coach, best of luck on Saturday. I know we'll get a chance to talk to you after, hopefully, a homecoming win for the Little Giants.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. We'll talk to you next week.
I think you come to the Belgium to win it. Wabash always fight.